Welcome everyone and to the new market weather bulletin. Today is the 22nd of July, so wanted to make a market check together. I'll try to check Bitcoin, even if it is not happening much. Ethereum, just to have an update from last week, and I will check also Solana, that is becoming a little bit more interesting over the past few days. As always, make sure to subscribe to the channel, leave a comment and a like. So I'll try to drop as much video as I can. And also a big shout out to ZoomX for sponsoring my YouTube channel. ZoomX is a super cool exchange, non KYC, so you can join just with an email address, no need to provide any personal information. You can trade a lot of pairs with all the leverage you need, and you will find the referral link on the description below the video to enjoy a 20% discount on trading fees and also to participate to some very cool campaign that we are running with the ZoomX team. But without further ado, let's check some chart and make some sense of the recent price action. So first of all, as we saw also last week with Ethereum, the price action now is could be very quick and fast, so it's very difficult to place order and to wait for trade for days. You need to be active in the market if you want to catch some move, mainly for a simple reason. This is Bitcoin, but we have also another chart. We did create a strong impulse up. Price started to trade above certain level. We left below the current price action in many coins, a big gap like this one you see here. So ideally, you would like to trade a perfect retest of this level down here and going above. So this potentially could happen. It's not something that is happening immediately. So either you put order in this sort of structure, or you are forced to trade on lower time frame, 30 minutes, 15 minutes, 1 hour, and you try to catch some move on the as the price action is evolving. Probably the price action of Ethereum is more representative. As you can see, we did have this accumulation. Since breaking from this accumulation, the pullback were very shallow. So you need, as I was explaining on the video last week, you need to be a little bit chasing and look for entry. Last week I gave some strategy to be used, but from my side it's a little bit difficult to give you an entry now because I need to see the evolution of the price action. So this kind of impulsive move, it's what happened 20% of the time in the market. So as you know, 80% of the time the market is ranging, 20% of the time market is moving very strongly like this. When this is happen, we have a strong momentum picking up, and you need to be more present in the market if you want to catch move. Either you accumulated before the breakout and you are simply holding and enjoy entries that you got here. But if you are sideline and you want to enter, you need to pay a lot of attention, you need to be present, and you need to go to trade on lower time frame. The third option, say you are sidelined from the accumulation, don't want to chase this move. In that case, you have to wait for stronger pullback and entry. When this pullback are coming, I don't know, probably nobody knows. Potentially they will come, but still you have to have alarms to catch them. So finishing with this, let's say, introduction and explanation, just let's make a quick check of Bitcoin on the 12 hours. We know the very simple concept. We know that Bitcoin has broken out from this long consolidation that we had, where we had a textbook deviation here. We break and we move above. So the assumption is that market makers, big players, whales, whatever you want, have accumulated here and they're ready to move the price higher. How much higher? For me, at around 150 for sure, 130. as long as we don't deviate back in this range, I'm expecting an action reaction. What does it mean? From November to July, we did have an accumulation, so I'm expecting a proportional expansion after this accumulation. So if we spend so many months here, 7 months here, I'm expecting now the price to trade on the top right corner for a while because I think proportionally. So if we did have this long accumulation, at least a few weeks of uptrend is what I'm expecting. Am I sure is happening? No, I'm never sure about anything. When this concept will be validated, when we start to trade below the accumulation, in that case, this whole move would become a deviation just to trap trader and to distribute profit from this range and going lower. But as long as we keep uptrending on this fashion as we did last day, I'm really lowering my AQ and expecting, as I said, as we adhere a reaccumulation expansion, as we adhere accumulation expansion. So these moves are usually proportional. So I'm expecting also this time to be proportional. Taking in consideration that this time might be different, but I will not fade something that looks clear. So as long as this is moving higher, I'm expecting that we'll keep moving higher because of the proportionality concept and because of the action reaction, accumulation, expansion. Simply like this, as long as we don't break down. How to trade this? Either, so even here, as I was explaining in the beginning, we do have a trouble that is this displacement. Why this is a trouble? Because this area create a problem whenever you want to put an order to enter. Because should you place any order somewhere here, your invalidation should be down here because all this price action, that is the gap, the inefficiency, the displacement, whatever it is, will not allow you to place a stop loss because there is no resistance level. So the first level of interest in case we get a deeper pullback would be this little order block, accumulation, call it whatever you want, little range. If you will check in the 1 hour, you see that it was the only lateral price action we had on the way up with an invalidation down here. So to enter here, to have an invalidation somewhere here, and to look for a move up. But as long as we trade here above, not sure we will get this deeper to pullback. So not really an area I would put order blindly, but is a level of interest. As you can see, we also have Fibs confluence on this level would be the 0.75 of the very latest leg up. So this is definitely an area of interest. Not sure if the dip will be given. What I would be more interested for the time being is this little range that we have started to trade over the past few days. And this applies for many other coins. So we know that we have an area of interest down here, but we also know that for the moment, Bitcoin price is simply ranging. Whatever you want to put range high here or here is discretionary. Perhaps you can use the volume profile to get more objective boundaries. And as you can see, point of control is there. Range high or value area high is just there. As you can see here with the boundary, and the range low or value area low is just here, and point of control matching with the mid-range of this range. So how to trade this range? As all the ranges, basically ranges are neutral formation, and the only objective of a range trader is to try to long as close as possible to discount, that is from mid-range to range low, and short as close as possible to premium, that is from mid-range to range high. Ideally, how to do it after a deviation. This is one of my standard entry. So we are building here liquidity with this low this low was taken, but this no, as you can see, this low here was taken last night, I think was Monday low or something like that, but we do still have some untapped low just below. So again, not a prediction, but ideally, before considering an entry down here in the level I told you, my favorite setup would be something like this. Not sure we get, probably, not probably, we could also potentially move higher from here and break out. For me, for longs, the only area I would be interested is to long something like this, where the invalidation would be the week in case it happen that take out all this liquidity, all these untapped lows. I would like to see a market structure break somewhere here. This would be the trigger to put the entry. Entry would be in demand close to range low as much as possible. Invalidation again below the wick that is created, and aiming at range high, this higher, this equalize, and potentially for the next leg higher. Again, not a prediction, but in this sort of price action, this is the only scenarios that can give me a logic, especially for the invalidation. Why? Because as long as I don't have something to work here for the invalidation, as I say, some low formed here that could tell me, okay, this is the low, I can put my invalidation here. I do have this big gap here that is not allowing me to have a favorable or reasonable risk reward. I would need to put the stop loss down here because I don't have any level of support. We saw last video, again, the targets for Bitcoin, mainly given by the Fibonacci extension. I think you can watch again that video without losing time to repeat. So for the moment, just being patient. This is the range. We are going sideways since 12 days. As long as we are inside this range, my interest is to play the range extremities and not worrying too much about what happened. As you have seen here, price so far has been extremely choppy, especially on the point of control, that is this blue line. As you can see, we chopped and sliced this point of control so many times. Broken up, come back, slice here several times, become support, going up, slice many times, support, resistance, not holding, moving. So again, I don't really, I'm not interested to do business close to this point of control because, as you can see, is a super extremely choppy level. So we are building value around this level. So you want to see before, let's say, going away from this level, usually you need some strong move. So potentially a strong liquidation event here, then a move up. We have enough fuel in the tank to break above. Could also happen the opposite, where we get a bearish scenario, but due to the context, the general market structure and whatever, my focus is mainly on long. I might take few short, especially if we take out this high and we get a nice rejection here below, but I would still risk less on short positioning rather than long positioning because of the general bias I have in the market. And no need to explain you why it's bullish, because everything is pushing to the top right corner. Ethereum, we saw last week, very quickly, the um, the idea that I was explaining, that when we do have this strong impulse, you can wait for days for stronger pullback, totally fine, but usually we just get this little pullback and price still moving higher. How to trade this, as I was explaining, look for two possible scenario ranges. So I know I sound like a broken record, but try to long range low as much as possible for the next leg up or little consolidation. And I think this was the one we saw last week. Little consolidation, retest, and move up. If you see happening again, little consolidation, retest, leg up. Will work forever? No, nothing works forever, but this is what has been working for the time being, and potentially we just follow what the trends is giving. This potentially again could look for a test here. We need to see perhaps some reaction and move above. You can again use point of control to see where trader are. So as long as we don't find value below this point of control here, you can assume that this consolidation is holding like all the other did, and we get something like this. Will not work forever, probably now. We are also starting to be a little bit overextended, moving higher, moving higher, and moving higher. What was the why I'm not really interested on short on Ethereum? I think is what I was explaining last week, because here there is tons of liquidity. This level 4K has been a very important level historically for Ethereum, so I would be interested to see the reaction up here. Remember that this 4K level for Ethereum is so important and usually have marked the top for altcoin and bull market for a few years. As you see, we are below this level since 2021. Am I sure this level will hold? No, actually, I see this level has been tested so many times. You can say one, two, three, four, five, six. This is the seventh time, so I would not be surprised to see this level broken. Not probably broken at the first attempt or the first hourly candle that you see that is closing here above. Probably this level will give some reaction, but if we start to consolidate around this level and we don't get this strong rejection we got all the time that we visited, you see strong rejection, strong rejection. This was a deviation. All the other time was a strong rejection. Whatever is not a strong rejection, for me would be a positive sign. So potentially some rejection initially, some consolidation here, ideally with a range forming. So as long as this range hold is along, potentially on breaking this level. Should this range break to the upside, as explained at the beginning of the video, this is a 4 years and more long consolidation range. You have to think proportionally. So not sure it will break. If it does, don't be that guy that immediately short here to go above. If we break after 8 attempts, try to think proportionally, to think bigger, because if institution, whales, market maker have accumulated for 4 years in this price action, then if we really break it, we have to expect a big expansion following. So something that is not lasting 2, 3 days, because if we have accumulated here for 4 years, weeks and months should give us this sort of price action much higher. But as long as we are below, to be a little bit careful. The price action is very bullish. If you haven't seen the video last week, check it again, because I was explaining exactly how to catch this move. And there was specifically this setup that triggered and was a perfect entry for the move we got, more or less like this was the setup, and we got it moving. So finally, moving to Solana to check the chart, because as I was saying, it's starting to be interesting. So we go on a higher time frame to understand what Solana is doing, and is also trading at a very interesting spot. On very high time frame, you know that Solana likes, like Ethereum, the horizontal level. We can say that we are trading in this massive range where we had this bear market deviation or accumulation phase. Price broke above, first attempt to reaching this resistance failed on all-time high, so quickly move. Now we are moving up again in a bullish fashion, because you clearly see the bullish trend, so potentially we are again moving there in a range. Whenever range low is holding and mid-range is flipped, you simply know that we go range low, mid-range, range high. If we get a rejection, the other way, range high, mid-range, range low. So it range until it doesn't range. What we had here, consolidation, breaking above, break below, retest down. So in this case, I think we can further map potentially another sort of range here that gives some clear level of interest. Let me clean a bit, then we can move in lower time frame. So you know that we are consolidating more or less in this range from the bigger range 2021 and the smaller range since 2024. So again, approaching key resistance level here, you see that we have resistance. The key level to flip was this one. Again, Solana really liked the horizontal level, as you can see, resistance, 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 support, 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 resistance, resistance, and now this level is flipped. Now that this level is flipped, do not make it complicated. As long as the breakout holding, believe the breakout is good. So any move, any dip here could potentially be a buying opportunity. We go lower time frame. Again, potentially a range to help us navigate this market, as you can see here. Probably you see it better on the 30 minutes. Either you will wait for a little deviation here below to enter and to target for the next resistance, or if you simply push higher, you wait for a pullback. Same strategy that we saw for Solana, for Ethereum last week. Should we get this attempt and a rejection, remember that here this would be some sort of accumulation in our time frame. So we would get again a level of interest. If we move higher immediately from here, you know that if you get a dip in this box that was this little consolidation, again you would trade above, exactly as it happened here. We got the consolidation, went above, retested, and gone. So look how similarly this price action here, look at this one. So if the price move above, get ready to buy the dip and move higher. So you have two options to make it super simple. Either this consolidation fail to break above, you look for a deviation, enter like this, where this become your invalidation for the move above, or as we had here, little consolidation, that is this consolidation, break above, the consolidation we had here become your entry, little dip and moving above. So break above, consolidation, and go. The second, this setup would look something like this again with the stop loss below the invalidation. So as I said, not possible for me to send setup before the price action evolves, because I need to see what is happening exactly as I explained last week with Ethereum. So the two options, break above, retest, and go. So this would be the plan for Solana. The initial target would be something around this 110 level. Then should that is the range high of this level, but again, think proportionally. This level again has been tested and broken several times. We can even here aim for higher. So do not be too rushed to take profits, secure some when we are at the resistance, but be ready to leave something around. I think the video is getting a little bit long. I hope with a quick explanation was clear for Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. Should you find any trade to take, make sure to do it with me in ZoomX. You will find the referral link in the description below to enjoy a 20% discount. ZoomX is non-KYC, is a very simple exchange. You don't need to provide any personal information to trade. As you can see, the platform is super cool, very simple. You can settle your trades as you do in any normal exchange. It has the liquidity of Bybit, but the freedom of non KYC account. So make sure to join immediately using the referral link ZoomX so we can trade together in there. So hope everything is clear. As always, if you have any question, make sure to drop in the comment below. I'll try to answer as soon as possible, either here on YouTube or on X. Make sure to follow me on all the platform, here YouTube, X, and on my trade room on Telegram. All my content is free, so make sure to support me by subscribing to the channel, leaving a comment and a like. Enjoy and take care. Bye bye.